Today, we are going to discuss the PO3 mathematics. The examination session is 2021 summer. So, we will back to the questions. The first question shows is the curve C has an equation y equals to x squared cos half x. The curve has a stationary point at A. Show that using the calculus that x coordinate to P was a solution of this equation. So initially what we need to understand is we need to see whether this arctan means this is sometimes the familiar formula is 2 tan inverse of 4x. You need to show this extent in this question. So we'll come up with this y. So the question is y equals to x squared cos half x. So in this case, we know that the relative formulas, what we need is, you can understand that it's a product of two different functions, x squared into cos half x. The formulas, what we need is, if you differentiate u into v, just like two different functions, here it's u and here just like v. The answer is keep the first function u and the differentiate the second function plus keep the second function and differentiate the first function. That is the relative formulas what we need to do this question, right? Then the next formula what we need is if you differentiate cos ax plus b kind of it. So the answer is cos ax plus b differentiation is minus sine ax plus b into, again you need to differentiate this bracket. You need to differentiate this bracket, that is turn up to ax plus b differentiation is a. So final answer is minus a sine ax plus b would be the answer for that. That's what we will do it. So we will come up with this question and try to do this differentiation, right? Then I'll start with the first question. Here I'm using the space over here to do this. It's turn up to y equals to x squared cos half x, then dy by dx is keep the first function x squared and differentiate cos half x plus keep the second function cos half x and differentiate the first function. So in this case, it's turned out to x squared. If you differentiate cos half x is minus sine half x into differentiation of half x is half. Plus here, this is cos half x. I'm going to differentiate x squared is turn up to 2x right here. So you can write this is, if you simplify this, minus x squared over 2 sine half x. If you do this plus 2x cos half x would be the answer for this, right? Okay. So if you now we'll try to work out whether this is fine, the final of it. Then at the stationary point, we know that at stationary point dy by dx is equals to 0. I'm using so therefore you can say I've read it here 2x cos half x minus squared over 2 sine half x is equals to 0. So I want to make it some kind of equation in terms of this. Here they have given x is not equals to 0. Therefore, I can cancel 1x with the x over here and take this term to this side. The point here is since the x is not equals to 0, you can cancel out. Other than that, you cannot do it. 2 cos half x is equals to half sine half x. I want to make this tan format because that is what they're going to tan inverse. Therefore, I'll bring this cos x to this side and this 2 to this side. Just turn up to them. 4 equals to, so if I write it, sine half x divided by cos half x, then you can write tan half x is equals to 4. Yes. Then what you can get here is this. Then you can see there's another one more thing. I think I have just mixed up here. There's one x is here. X is here. So if you bring the x over 4 over x, sorry, 4 over x, then you can write half x is equals to tan inverse 4 over x. Therefore, x become 2 tan inverse 4 over x. That's the answer where you can obtain as the first part of this answer. Okay. That's what we need to do, right? Okay, we'll come up with this. Right. Now I'm starting from this answer. Then we need to show that find the value for using the iterative formula xn plus 1 equals to 2 arctan this much to find the x2, x1 starting from 2, x2 and the value for x6, you answer to 3 decimal places. So you can write, this is the way. So you can write x2 would be 2 tan inverse of here, if this is n plus 1, this is n, that should be 4 over x1. That means you need to substitute 2 tan inverse 4 over x1 is 2. So I'm starting from here. So we will do it. Remember that here they have given the angle in terms of radian. Therefore, operate your calculator in terms of radian. Initially, that's the first step you need to do. So you can write 2 tan inverse 4 over 2. The first answer become 2.21. We need the answer to 3 decimal places, 214. Then you can get x3. x3 would be 2 tan inverse 4 over x2, that is equal to 2 tan inverse 4 over 2.214. That answer become then 2.130. Then x4, if you do the same thing, you get the answer x4, 163 actually. Then x5 become 2.150 and x6 become 2.155 would be the final answer for this question. Find the value for x2 and the value for x6. Straightforward, you can't find x's, obviously. You need to work out with this pattern and obtain the final answer for this question. That's a way of discussing the first question. Okay, children, the next case is show that 1 minus cos 2x and 2 sin 2x equals to k tan x. You need to write this cos x and sin 2x, cos 2x and sin 2x in terms of single angle. So the respective theories, what you need for this question is, you know that sin 2x is 2 sin x cos x, and cos 2x you have another set of formula. There are a couple of formulas you can see. Cos squared x minus sin squared x, or 1 minus 2 sin squared x, or 2 cos squared x minus 1 are the formulas for them. Then let's try to write down these facts. So when you're working out with this numerator, we would make the tan x. We know that tan x is sin over cos. Therefore, it's better if you can write the numerator in terms of tan. So I can write 1 minus, instead of cos 2x, I would write 1 minus 2 sin squared x, because since it's a tan x, it's better if you can write the numerator in terms of tan. So 2 sin 2x, 2 into sin 2x, you can write 2 sin x cos x. Let's work out and see. 1 minus 1 is, you can substitute it, 2 sin squared x divided by 4 sin x cos x. Then you can cancel 1 sin with 1 sin, because you know that sin is not equals to 0. With that, you can cancel the sin to sin. Other than that, if the sin x turn up to 0 at any extent, you cannot do this, and it's not equals to 0. Right. So with this you can write 2 sin x divided by, sin x divided by 2 cos x. It's turned up to 1 over 2 tan x. So here they mentioned that the x is not. So this is the reason you can cancel. X is not equals to product of 9t's. Sin x is not equals to 0 or 1. Therefore, we can cancel one sin x to another sin x. Other than that, if sin x is equals to 0, you cannot cancel this kind of thing. So the final answer would be just like this. That's the answer for first part. Right. Then if you happen to simplify part B, let's see how to do this question. So I will remove this part of the answer. Hence, solve this one. So now you can understand 9. This part is literally similar to the value over here. So instead of this, I can write this is 1 over 4 tan x. I think we already got this 1 over 4. Hopefully, 1 second. I'm not sure about. Yeah, 1 over 2 tan x. Sorry, 1 over 2 tan x. So instead of this, you can write part B, 9 times of 1 over 2 tan x is equals to 2 sec squared. Actually, it should be theta, sec squared theta. Now I need to solve this answer. So then you can say this is 9 over 2 tan theta equals to, instead of sec squared theta, I can write 1 plus tan squared theta, because we already learned this one in our trigonometric formulas. Instead of sec squared, because you know that the respective formula which is relevant for this is 1 plus tan squared theta is equals to sec squared theta, and 1 plus cot squared theta is equals to cosec squared theta. Those are the two formulas where we are just kind of familiar with this kind of simplification. So you can write 2 plus 2 tan squared equals to 9 over 2 tan theta. With this, you can simplify a quadratic formula. 2 tan squared theta minus 9 over 2 tan theta plus 2 equals to 0. I brought this 9 over 2 to this side and form a quadratic equation. With this, you can get the solutions for tan theta by solving as a quadratic equation. You will obtain the answers. Yeah, it should be 2 minus 9 over 2 and 2. So we'll obtain the answers as one answer is 1.64 and the other answer is 0.609. 61, actually, can make it a 61. Then we need the final answer in terms of degree. So convert your calculator to degree format, because in the previous question we did this. We did some kind of a degree radian measures question. So theta equals to tan inverse 1.64, and here the theta is equals to tan inverse 0.61. We need the answers in the range of 0 to theta only. So you can write tan inverse 1.64, that would be 58.63. 58.63, and here the answer is tan inverse 0.61, that is 31.4. It's the second answer for this question. So with this, this would be the final answer for this question. Okay, now if you start with this question, the basic formula what we need is, it's come up with the integration. So if you integrate ax plus b to the power n, answer is 1 over ax plus b to the power n plus 1 over n plus 1. There's a boundary condition where n is not equal to -1. That means this equation is not applicable for 1 over ax plus b. Right. So, okay. Except than this, for any other things, you can apply for this. So we will work out with this, and let's see. So here you need to integrate 12 divided by 2x minus 1 to the power 2. This is literally similar to 12 2x minus 1 to the power minus 2 dx. Then we can do the integration using the above formula. 12 into 1 over 2. It's from here. 2x minus 1 to the power minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1 divided by minus 1. Plus C is the answer for this. So if you do this, it's turned up to minus 6 over 2x minus 1 to the power 1. I can pick it down. 12 divided by 2, 6 divided by minus 1 is minus 6. Plus C is the final answer for this question. That's the answer for part A. Okay, if you move up to part B, write 4x plus 3 over x plus 2 in form of this. Obviously, they were looking into some kind of a format where you have to get with the improper fraction format. So I will simply divide 4x plus 3 by x plus 2. Okay, this answer. How many x terms are there for 4x is 4. If you multiply with this, is turn up to 4x plus 8. Answer is 4 minus 5 over x plus 2 would be the final answer for this. That is B. Sorry, question number 2A. Yeah. Then 2B. Hence, you can do this integration. This is a pretty simple question. You can see the same thing which is in the above question. It's related here. You can say this is 4 minus 5 over x plus 2. The integration minus 8 to minus 5. So if you do it, if you integrate 4, answer is 4x minus 5 times of this is x plus 2 to the power minus 1. I told you this theory. Here, if it happens to integrate 1 over ax plus b, where I told you that this equation is only valid for the case where it's not equal to minus 1. So for this case, its answer is 1 over a ln ax plus b. That's the exception we can see. 5 into, with this answer you can write 1 over coefficient of x is 1 over 1 ln x plus 2. So this answer is 4x minus 5 ln x plus 2. 5 ln x plus 2. And only to put in the boundaries minus 8 to minus 5. So simply you can apply, give your answer to the simplest form. So you can say 4 into minus 5 times of ln minus 5 plus 2. Yeah, minus 5 plus 2 we will work out here. Nothing to worry. So sometimes you might be confused whether you don't get any minus values for this. So we will try to go ahead with this and see with it. That's not a problem at all. Right. Okay. Minus, if you substitute minus 8 with it. So I'll do it separately. 4 into minus 8 minus 5 times of ln minus 8 plus 2. So we will go ahead a little bit of and see with it. Minus 20 minus 5 ln minus 3 plus 32 minus plus ln 8 minus 6 with it. Right. So what you, sorry, there should be 5. 32, 5 ln minus 6. Then I can simplify over here with it. 32 minus 20 is 12. Minus 5, if you take 5 out, so turn up to ln minus 6 minus ln 3. Ln minus 3. That's what I mentioned. Nothing to panic. You just work out and see. 12 plus 5 ln minus 6 divided by minus. With this subtraction rate as a division, it's turned up to 2. The fact over here is minus ln minus 6 divided by minus ln 3 is turned up to ln 2. So answer should be 12 plus 5 ln 2. Yeah, that's a fact we need to understand with this kind of a question. So if you happen to see this kind of a situation, nothing to panic. Sometimes some students think that yes, like my question may be wrong and try to rework out and spending time, but just go a little bit further, and sometimes these kind of situations we come across at the final simplification, this negative ln get cancelled out and turn up to us some kind of a reasonable answer. Okay. Now, if you reach this question, the function f and g are defined by 4x plus 6 and x minus 5, where gx is 5 minus 2x squared. solve the equation fgx equals to 3. So initially, what you need to do is we need to find the value for what is fgx. What do you mean by fgx? Is in function fx, x should be replaced with gx. That means here all the exposition should be replaced with gx. That is what you mean by fgx. 4gx plus 6 divided by gx minus 5. So I will replace with this. 4 times of gx is 5 minus 2x squared plus 6 divided by 5 minus 2x squared minus 5. If you do it, it's turn up to 20 minus 8x squared plus 6 divided by 5 minus 1 is 0 minus 2x squared. Yes, sir. Then if you would work out with this, it's turn up to 14 minus 8x squared divided by minus 2x squared. They mentioned that this is similar to 3. Then if you cross multiply, you get the answer 14 minus 8x squared, because if you cross multiply minus 6x squared. So if you bring this minus 8x to other side is plus 8x, turn up to 2x squared is 14. Therefore, x squared equals to 7. X become root 7, right? X become root 7. Plus or minus, you can get the answer for that. And B, because there is no restriction for the negative values or whatever, any other restrictions are not there. So with this fact, you can say it's equals to root 7. That's the answer. So both answers are practically occurs in this case. And yeah. So when you're working out with this, did I made a mistake? 3, and it's minus 6x squared. We brought it here. It's 14. Is it just did I made a mistake? Sorry, I made a mistake. This is not 14. This should be 26, hopefully. That's what I was wondering. Some kind of a weird answer it came. 26, and this is 26, hopefully. 26, and this is 26, and this should be 13, and this should be my plus or minus root 13. This is a mistake I made over here. So it will be when you happen to see this kind of question, be a little bit particular on that. And they mention x values are negative. X is less than 0. Therefore, answer should be minus root 30. That would be the final answer for this. That's great. Yes, it's a very good question. With kind of restrictions are there. So we have to be very particular on the conditions, and then only we'll be able to get the answer. X equals to root 13. Right. Let's go ahead. Then part B, they need to find f inverse x. Initially, to find f inverse x, what can I do? I'll just get fx as y. For x minus 5 and change the variable. Make y as x as y. Y minus 5. Sorry. Then cross multiply. Xy minus 5x equals to 4y plus 6. And our objective is to subject y. So I'll bring this 4y to this side and 5x to this side. So xy minus 4y is equals to 5x plus 6. Therefore, if you take y out, x minus 4, 5x plus 6. Therefore, y become 5x plus 6 over x minus 4. With this, you can write f inverse x become 5x plus 6 become x minus 4 is the final answer for this question. So that is how you need to work out with the x inverse x, right? And for this case, you can say x is not equals to 4. X cannot be 4. Right? Okay, let's go ahead with this, right? Sketch on label the diagram, the axis, the curve with equation y equals to gx, and the curve with equation g inverse x. Sketch the equation. So what you can understand here is that they need a sketch only. Now you can see it's a quadratic. It's a quadratic graph, 5 minus 2x. Therefore, x is for the negative region. So you can see if you draw 5 minus 2x graph, it should be a graph like this. should be a graph like this, where this value is 5 and this value become, if you just intersection of the x-axis means, intersection of the y-axis means x equals to 0, that is 5. Intersection in the x-axis means y equals to 0, that is root 5 over 2. Root 5 over 2 minus, so this should be minus this side, root 5 over 2, but they are referring with only the negative region. Therefore, you can draw the graph like this. This is 5 over 2 and this should be minus root 5 over 2. Right. That is the GX graph. So GX graph. Then they need the G inverse X graph. So there's another very important graph you can see when you come up with the G inverse X graph. These Y values turn up to X values. And these X values turn up to Y values. Right. This is turn up to minus 5 over 2. Then this goes like this way around. And you can see a graph similar to this. That's how it comes with G inverse X. Right. That is a way of getting this answer. Right. Okay, when you come up to this fifth question, a growth of a duckweed in the pond is being studied. The surface area of a pond covered by the duckweed 8 meters square at time t hours. The start of the study is modeled by a p q to the power t, where p and q the positive constants. Right. Figure 1 shows the linear relationship between log a into t. So we will work out this relationship with it. So they have drawn the graph. The equation is a equals to pq to the power t. Then I will take the logarithm for 10 for both sides. Log 10a is equals to log 10 pq to the power t. So if you do the simplification, so you can say log 10p plus log 10 q to the power t. From the logarithmic multiplication, correct as a addition. So this t you can take it out. So it's turn up to log 10p plus t times of log 10q. These are constants. They turn up to log 10a. So this is just like y equals to this is c plus, and this is m and this is x. Just like y equals to mx plus c type of a graph, right? The point 0, 0, this point 0, comma 0.32 and 8, comma 0.56 lie on the line as shown over here. Find the 3 decimal points of p and q. So obviously we can say y-intercept log 10 p is the y-intercept, that is 0.32. Therefore p become 10 to the power 0.32. So we can obtain that answer, that is 10 to the power 10 to the power 0.32 is the answer for that. That is 2.089. 2.089. And the gradient is log 10q. Log 10q is equal to gradient. How to get the gradient? Using these two coordinates. 0.56 minus 0.32 divided by 8 minus 0. So you can say log 10q is equals to 0.56 minus 0.32 divided by 8, and that is 0.03. With this, you can say q equals to 10 to the power 0.03. So obvious answer, you can write 10 to the power 0.03. That is 1.07. I think this is fine. Yes, so we can get the answer p is equals to p is equals to 2.089 and q equals to 1.072. Yes, this is fine. Right. When you come up to the next part of the question, children, using the model with value for P and Q. Now you know that this equation in this format. Find the rate at increase the surface area of the pond covered by the duckweed in day exactly 6 days after the start of the study. Give you answer to two significant figures. So what we can get here is two decimal places, not two significant figures, two decimal places. So initially we need to find what is dA by dt. So this is 2.089 is a constant times of 1.07 to the power t, differentiation is t into ln 1.07. So when t equals to 6, t is measured in days, right? So you can write dA by dt when t equals to 6. 2.089 times of 1.07. 6 times of ln 1.07. It's turn up to 0.089 into 1.07 to the power 6 into ln 1.07. It's turn up to then t equals to 6 actually. It's 0.212 is the answer for that. Yeah, if you write it for two decimal places, it should be 0.21 hopefully. Okay, Pite. Given that K is a positive constant on separate diagrams, sketch the graph with the equation of this and these two. Right, okay. Initially, we will try to draw modulus of X graph. That's the easiest way of understanding this transformation. If you do the modulus of X graph, it's just like this. It's a modulus of X graph. Then if you come up to modulus of minus X graph, it's turned out to the negative side of it. And minus, if you multiply by -2, even the same thing, only thing is that the gradient would be same way. Then plus k. K means what happened today? So this entire graph shift from k units up. Over here, this is turned up to k. And these 2 points we need to understand. These 2 points are the points where this graph meets the x-axis, means y equals to 0. So it's turned up to plus k over 2 and minus k over 2. This is the graph of y equals to k minus 2 over plus x. So just draw this in a rough paper or some kind of part of it, and you can write the final answer of this as a final fact of it. Okay. Then part 2. So we need to draw 2x minus k over 3, right? So the best way of doing this question is initially sketch this 2x minus y equals to 2x minus k over 3 graph. If you draw this, you can see it's a straight line with a positive coefficient, positive gradient with a negative intercept minus k over 3. And here this meet with the x-axis, means y equals to 0. It's turned up to k over 6. Then this is just y equals 2x minus k over 3. Then if you get the modulus of it, k over 3, then you get the answer up to here, k over 6, and this side it's k over 3. It's a final answer for this question. This is simple answer. This is the final answer you should draw, right? Hence, in terms of k, find the value for x for which this is equals to this, right? This is the way of doing this question. Initially, I do a small trick. Take a piece of paper and I will draw this graph. It's traveling through k, and this is like this way around. Get this idea that it's kind of easier for you to understand the question over here, minus k over 2. And this graph is traveling through k over 3 somewhere here, and k over 6 is somewhere here. So you can see the graph goes like this. Therefore, how many intersections we can expect? We can expect 2 intersections over here and here. Then we can start with the question, right? This is the way of doing it. It is pretty simple. So I'll be starting this question. 2x minus k over 3 yeah, equals to 2 times of, sorry, this one modulus. First you get the just positive answer for this, this much k minus 2 modulus of x, right? Then what you can get here is, sorry, initially we'll get the positive side of these graphs. We will see the, yeah, 2 modulo 2x. I'll get the both answers over here. So and get the answer for x. But if I brought it here, it's turned up to 4x is equals to k plus k over 3. So you can say x become, turn up to k over 3. If you just do it 4k over 3 divided by k over 3. Now let's see whether k over 3 is a possible answer. Yeah, because you know that one solution is over here. That's why I used to draw it. So this should be k over 6 and k over 3. It's a reasonable answer. Yeah, it falls into this between. Then after that, put a minus and write the same thing. K and put a minus again in front of this. Minus 2 into minus x. So you can say minus 2x plus k over 3 is equal to k times of plus 2x. Then if you brought it here, it's turned, if you brought this 2x to this side, it's turned up to 4x. And if you brought it here, 2k over 3. Therefore, x become k over 6 minus k over 6. Sorry. Minus 2k over 3 minus 2k over 3 divided by 4. Minus 2 divided by 3 divided by 4. It's turned up to minus 1 over 6k. Yeah, that one also possible value. Here, look at the 6 in between these two. So you can write these are the two solutions what we can get for x for this kind of a question. Minus 1 over k. And yeah, that's how we need to work out with this. Yeah, so we can work out with these two answers and can obtain the final answers. Yeah, that's what way of getting this question. That's it. If you start with this question, given that 6x sine squared 2y, show that this answer. So what you can get here is, this is x. This is equals to 6 sine squared 2y. Initially, I've tried to find out dx by dy. Because you cannot simplify y function because sine inverse x differentiation still we don't know, right? 6 into different straightforward initially differentiate the power 2 times of sine 2y to the power 2 minus 1 into, now differentiate sine 2y. Sine 2y is cos 2y into 2. So your final answer is 12 sine 2y cos 2y. Then what you can get here is that is dx by dy. Then you can write dy by dx is equals to 1 over 12 sine 2y cos 2y. Now you can see the answer is given in terms of x. So how can you do this? Instead of sine 2y, not a problem, straightforward. From this part, you can write sine 2y equals to sine square 2y equals to x over 6. Therefore, sine 2y equals to square root of x over 6. And instead of sine 2y, you can write square root of x over square root of 6. Into how to find this cos 2y? It's pretty simple. You just draw right angle triangle and mark the angle as 2y. Sine 2y is opposite divided by hypotenuse. Opposite is root x. You can take it. This is root x divided by root 6. Opposite divided by height, root 6. Then if you apply the Pythagoras theorem, this is 6 minus x, the square root of it. Then instead of cos 2y, you can write square root of 6 minus x over root 6. So if you do this, 1 over 12, x times of 6 minus x divided by 6. It's turned up to 1 over 2 root x times of 6 minus x is the answer for that. That's a way of it. After that, you can do this expansion and you can get the answer. With that, you get the answer 1 over 2. If you expand the brackets, turn up to 6x minus x squared is a final answer for this. That's a way of doing this question. Then if you come up with this question, right, a scientist has is studying the population of a fish in a lake. Fish in a lake. The number of fish in a population T years after the start of the study, it's given in this format. Find the number of fish in the lake at the start of the study. This is pretty simple question. What you need to do is we have to find the value when t equals to 0. If you put it, n is equals to 600 e to the power 0 divided by 2 plus e to the power 0. So that is turn up to 200. The answer for this. Find the upper limit of the number of fish in the lake. So when you're working out with this upper limit means when if you sketch this graph, so obviously what you can get here is you know that when the t value increases, this also increases apparently with this. So what you can understand here is if I just get an idea like this, I will try to divide this fact. No, yeah, I will do it in this way. 600 I will divide by 600 e to the power 0.3t. I will divide by e to the power 0.3t. This is a way of making it understand easily. 0.3t plus e to the power 0.3t also divided by e to the power 0.3t. That means it doesn't make a sense when you divide everything by e to the power 3t. It doesn't make a problem for the final answer. So this is turned up to 600 divided by 2 e to the power 0.3t plus 1. Then what happened here is when t equals to 0, when t equals to 0, it is remaining as 200. Right. When t goes to infinity, this value turn up to 0 because you know that e to the power negative graph is this kind of it. Therefore, this answer is turn up to how much? Turn up to 600 at infinity. So you can see a graph like this. So it's actually it's a graph like this. Right? So therefore, it limit up to 600. So you can see the maximum value come to 600. That is a simple answer for this question, right? Okay, so I can write this answer as 600. This answer as I can write it as 600 is the answer for this, right? Okay. Then find the time after the start of the study when the predicted to be 500 fish in the lake. Give you answer in terms of years, months, and the nearest to the nearest month actually. So we will do like this. That means n is equals to 500. You can say 600 e to the power 0.3t divided by 2 plus e to the power 0.3t is equals to 500. Right. So if you cross multiply, it's turn up to 600 e to the power 0.3t is equals to 1000. Cross multiply with this plus 500 e to the power 0.3t. If you do it, if you bring it here, it's turn up to 500 minus 600 minus 500 is 100. E to the power 0.3t equals to 1000. Sorry, 1000. So e to the power 0.3t become 1000 divided by 100 is 10. 0.3t become, if you bring it to other side, turn up to ln 10, then t become ln 10 divided by 0.3. So we need to work out ln 10 divided by 0.3. It's turn up to 7.67. 7.67, its time is measured in years. Means actually this is 2/3. 2/3 means 7 years and roughly it's 8 months. Because 7.67 means like it's roughly 7 2/3. 2/3 of a year means 8 months roughly, right? So you can get like that. That's a way of getting the answer for this question. Right, then we will go ahead to the next part of the question. Then show that dn over dt, right? Dn over dt is a differentiation of this. You have to use the quotient rule. How do the quotient rule is differentiate the square the denominator and keep the denominator 3t and differentiate the numerator. D by dt of 600 e to the power 0.3t minus keep the numerator. Keep the numerator e to the power 0.3t and differentiate the numerator. That is, differentiate the denominator 2 plus e to the power 0.3t. That's the usual format of it. So if you, just bring it to, I think now you can see the question, see the differentiation. Square the denominator, keep the denominator and differentiate the numerator. Square the denominator and keep the denominator and differentiate the numerator. And then keep the numerator and differentiate the denominator. That's the format of it. So if you do this, you can turn up to dn over dt is 2 plus e to the power 0.3t times of 600 e to the power 0.3t differentiation is e to the power 0.3t into 0.3 minus 600 e to the power 0.3t into differentiation of this is e to the power 0.3t into 0.3 divided by this one square. I'll just write it later. If you do this, it's turn up to 180 e to the power 0.3t times of 2 plus e to the power 0.3t minus, this is 180 e to the power 0.3t times of e to the power 0.3t is the answer for that, divided by the square of this denominator. All right, if you simplify this one, if I can take e to the power 0.3t out. So this is turned up to 2 plus e to the power 0.3t minus, I will take 180 times of, from here you can say minus e to the power 0.3t. So these two get cancels, divide by this one squared is there. So it's turned up to 180 0.3t divided by 2 plus e to the power 0.3t whole thing squared would be the final answer for this. According to this one, A become 180. Right. Okay. Then the next question is, given that when t equals to t, dn over dt is 8, find the value for t. That means you can say this way, 180 e to the power 0.3t divided by 2 plus e to the power 0.3t whole thing squared is equals to 8. Then we will cross multiply and try to get the answer for t. And if you cross multiply, you get the answer 180 e to the power 0.3t equals to 8 times of expansion of this is put e to the power 0.3t whole thing squared plus 4 times of e to the power 0.3t plus 4. Then, then if you bring all the terms to one side, equals to 8 e to the power 0.3t whole thing squared plus 32 minus 180 is minus 148. 148 e to the power 0.3t plus 32 equals to 0. So from here, you can get the answer of e to the power 3t as, if you do simplify this function, it's a quadratic function in terms of e to the power 3t, it's 8 minus 148 and 32. One answer is 18.28. The answer is 0.21. If you get these facts, then from here you can say 0.3t is equal to ln 18.21. Another one is 0.3 t is equals to e to the power, sorry, ln e broad, that's ln 0.21. Actually, yeah, t is equals to ln 18.21 divided by 0.3, it's 9.67. And here this is not exist because yeah, no, it's there. So t equals to ln 0.21, its minus value divided by 0.3. After that only you can show minus 5.2. Minus 5.2, this is not existing, so you can get the answer with 9.67 would be the final answer for this question. That's a way. It's a little bit of a long question with kind of simplification, so you should work out and get the proper answer in this way. Okay, now if you come up to this one, 12 sin x minus 4 cos x in form of this. Right, let's work out with this. You need to show 12 sin x minus 5 cos x equals to, if you want to show this, expand this first of all. Let's turn up to r sin x cos alpha minus cos x sin alpha. I just expand this bracket. Then if you write it, you get the answer 12 sin x minus 5 cos x equals to r sin x cos alpha minus r cos x sin alpha. So definitely it will come in a way of telling these terms. You can say these two terms are similar. If you get the sin x term, so you can say 12 equals to r cos x. And these two are again similar. It's turn up to 5 equals to r, if you get, sorry, cos, so this is cos alpha, not cos x, to be cos alpha and equals to sin alpha, because these are the two cos x terms, right? Then if I get like this 1 and 2, I can say tan alpha is equals to 5 over 12. 5 over 12. Therefore, alpha equals to tan inverse 5 over 12. Make sure that they request the answer in terms of radian. Yeah, because they have given the boundary in terms of 0 and pi by 2, means they expect the answer in form of radians. 5 over 12. Then you can say 0.394. Then 0.395, right? Then what we can get here is, we know that tan alpha is 5 over 12. That means put it just like this. This is 5 over 12. If you apply the Pythagoras theorem, this is 13. So obviously, within this hypotenuse become always r. So simply you can say r is equals to 13. So you can write this is 13. That's a way of getting this answer. Sin x minus alpha is 0.395. That's the answer for this. Right. You can say this is 13 sin x minus 0.395 is the answer for that. Then, yeah. The function g is given that this way. Yeah, okay. Obviously, you can see here the same similarity you can see here, where the x is replaced with 2 theta minus pi by 6. Then instead of this g theta, can't you write like this? G theta is 10 plus 13 sine x is replaced with 2 theta minus pi by 6 minus 0.395. Because the x is replaced with 2 theta minus pi by 6. Right. Then we can say this is g theta equals to 10 plus 13 sine 2 theta minus, you can say shift pi by 6, 0.395, 0.918, 919. That's the answer for that one. Then they ask about find the minimum value for g theta. For you know that for sine theta, the minimum value is -1. For sine theta, the minimum value is -1. So if you just go ahead with the sine graph, the maximum value is +1 and minimum value is -1. Therefore, V1, we can work out the minimum value is 10 plus 13 into -1. It's turned up to -2 would be the minimum value for that. The smallest value for theta where the minimum value occurs. You know that first minimum occurs at where? Then this is 90 means pi by 2. This is pi. The first minimum occurs at pi. That means when the angle, what is the angle? 2 theta minus 0.919 is equals to where? When it's equals to pi only, it happens. With this, you get the answer for theta. Theta become pi divided by 2. So that is the answer. So when the theta become 2.03 only, first time it's turned up to minimum. So first time it's turned up to maximum is pi by 2. Again pi. Again after that, it happens at different angles, but they ask what the minimum value for that. Right. Okay, that's a way of getting that question right. So you can get the answer in that format of it, right? Then let's come up to this question number C, part C, H beta. So instead of this part is literally similar to the value over here. Sine you can say this is beta minus 0.395 whole thing squared. Sorry, 13 times of that. You just do this, it's turn up to 13 sine beta minus 0.395 whole thing squared. If you do this, it's turn up to 10 minus 169 sine beta minus 0.395 all things squared. Then if you draw the sine theta graph, it's just like this. The sine theta graph is like this. This is just sine theta graph. Here the sine square theta graph. Sine square theta graph means what happened with it? All these values turn up to squared. This negative turn up to squared, what happened with it? Just like this. Therefore, what is the maximum value you can see for sine is 1. Minimum value obtained for sine squared is, sorry, maximum value for sine is 1. The minimum value is 0, right? Therefore, they ask about what is the range of h. So for this one, if it is 1, it's turn up to 10 minus 169 is 159. Then if it is 0, what happened with it? 10 minus 0, it's turn up to 0. So between these two only it's varies. So you can say h beta varies from, sorry, it's 10, from 10 to 159 is the answer for that. That's a way of identifying the range for this kind of a question. Sorry, I made a mistake. This 1 minus 159, which should be other way around. H beta would be greater than minus 159 because it's a negative answer. I didn't see that. It should be less than 10. So during this range, the function tends to move up and down. That's a way of understanding this kind of a question.